Okay, fantastic. I think it's 7:04. We should get started. Okay, great. So good evening, everyone. It's a Friday evening. I know everybody has their plans probably for spending time with the family, or you're planning for the weekend. So you all have taken time to come out and have this meetup. And so I was at a short notice. I appreciate very much you joining this event, and I have no doubt that this would be useful. My sincere hope is that, and I really believe that that can happen here, right? So just a couple of ground rules, if I can assist. People can keep muted unless, like, they type their turn has come for saying something. If they want to make any points in the meantime, they obviously can use the chat feature as well. Okay. And as much as possible, I'd request you to be on camera. That encourages the speakers, and that is obviously more engaging. But I totally understand in case like you're driving or you're doing some other stuff, and you can't be on camera. That's understandable. Especially the speakers definitely should be on the camera, please. Okay, so
why are you in this car?
I am hearing a little bit of a background noise, so no, some sounds in the background. If you can just keep yourself on mute, that would really help. Okay, perfect. So without any further ado, I'll get started. So here we are for what we call as networking and collaboration event series. Okay. And the topic today is procurement and supply chain. So a little bit about myself. My name is Sandeep Kumar, or Sandeep Kumar Singh, rather. I have been into procurement and supply chain for a pretty long time. I'm almost about 17, 18 years. I came to Canada in 2013. And before that as well, I was in different locations like Africa and Europe. So I've been in supply chain for a pretty long time. Before that, I was in India. I was into marketing, sales, trading, etc. Supply chain has been a passion of mine, and more importantly, in general, meeting people, networking, and sort of collaboration ideas. Those are things which I really love. And those two things combined were taking the shape of this particular, let's call it meetup that we have here. So in addition to my career in supply chain, I also am participating in some businesses with friends and partners. Some are my own businesses as well. Some of these you can see the names here, like FinMentors, Concept Champ, and Educamentors. These are some things that I am engaged in. So that was a little bit about myself. And let's discuss what is Canadian Career and Business Club. So the overall aim for this initiative is that is very much possible with some amount of thought process that we can create a positive circle, which really enhances everyone's professional and social growth. How that can be done? It will be done through knowledge sharing. We all are professionals in the field of many of us are in procurement supply chain. We also have many other facets through our personality, many other interests as well, and hence knowledge sharing can be multidimensional. Obviously, brainstorming on certain ideas, bouncing off certain parts, and project ideas with each other can be really beneficial. And you're talking here to people who are experienced in your sort of field, and they can give advice which will be not available on Google and YouTube. Like, those are very generic advice. So when you want to talk to some expert, better you speak to somebody who's from your domain. Obviously, as I mentioned, professional and social growth. This interaction does not have to be limited to professional discussions only. A lot of big good friendships start from professional connections, and they continue further on. Many of friends who are participating in this meeting here, they actually, some point of time, I had worked with them in the past, and those things have gradually evolved into social connections as well once you move to different organizations and career path, right? Overall, the goal is that we can bring stakeholders together. In this particular event, the idea is that we have industry leaders, we have experts, we have people who are into that profession, people who are starting into that profession, and people who are looking into get into that this profession, and they need some advice. The people are looking for educational advice, credential-related advice, job growth-related advice, as well as there are service providers who would like to interact with the industry. So there are a lot of stakeholders, and hopefully this creates a win-win-win for everyone. Last but not least, we must have fun. So this should be treated as a very informal meetup. There are no suits and ties kind of professional event. I know there are a lot of events which happen in the golf clubs and events which happen in high settings, but will not be comfortable always there. Here, feel free to treat this as a home setting, more as a casual coffee chat. So the rules should not be taken too seriously. Some ground like Mr. rules like respect should be there, but other than that, we are not really putting too many things as constraints here. I have spoken for past 5 minutes. I think that's probably more than my wife would ever allow me to speak. So I think I've done my quota. So with that completed, I would like to go to the next stage of our session. Before that, and that will be the introduction for all the participants. Then we'll go to the speakers. We have quite a few prominent speakers, experts, and we would love to hear from them. Before we get started with the introduction thing, I just wanted to acknowledge and thank my mentor, Mr. Manoj Kumar Singh. This idea about this collaboration and meetup and network is actually I'm borrowing from him. He had brought up this idea, and I really thank you, Mr. Manoj, for that putting that seed in my mind. So I really appreciate that. And for my organization, Augmentors, he's the chief mentor as well. So I really appreciate Mr. Manoj you're joining this forum. If you'd like to just start with maybe a couple of sentences about how you see this initiative going forward. After that, we'll start with the introduction for everyone. Mr. Manoj Singh.
Hi there. A lot of people here, like they don't know me because I'm not very much like involved in all the virtual event. Like virtual events are my biggest weakness. And this is technically my first virtual event, which I am here only due to Sandeep ji. So with respect to my background, few of you know, but toughest question, like as Sandeep ji asked me that what I do for living. So this I can't answer actually, because I'm like investor, like I'm in human resource industry, like I'm in finance industry, like I'm working as an angel investor also. But to be exact, really, I don't know. So I'm really finding myself also, and maybe one of you guys or maybe appropriate answer of this question, maybe in future, I can give you when I will be very sure that, okay, now this is my calling. But mentorship is very close to one of my calling. I really enjoy this, and like it's feel timelessness for me whenever I'm talking to someone with respect to value addition. So in nutshell, this is my introduction.
Thank you so much. And you, as I mentioned, it's difficult to put you in one word, but I think the mentor is the word that really comes to my mind when I meet you. And I'm sure for a lot of other people, you would provide that facility or that option as well. So thank you again. Okay, so I'll stop the screen sharing for a moment so I can see more people in my gallery view. So we have more than 35 people. So we'll get started with the introduction. We request you to keep it to about 2 minutes, and hopefully what you could cover is mainly in terms of like your quick professional profile, your interest or linkage with supply chain. You want to touch upon that, and maybe just one or two expectations that you may have from this kind of forum dedicated for our domain. Okay, so to the speakers, I'll come to you later on because anyway you'll be introduced at that stage. So I'll start with the people who are not speaking for the particular topic. So do an introduction. So on my screen, I can see Shiki Jain first. So Shiki, if you don't mind, we'll start with you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Sandeep. Hi, everyone. I'm very, very excited to meet all of you. Very quickly about me. My name is Shiki Jain. I'm working with eBay Canada as a product manager for cross-border shipping. That includes the transportation, international fulfillment and logistics. So that's basically my current work. In past, I have worked in consulting, ocean logistics, courier logistics with Purolator, Maersk, working with various retail clients. The most things I'm very passionate about is within supply chain is the technology and also logistics and fulfillment. So these are the two things I'm really, really excited about and very, very, very happy to meet all of you. Thank you so much. Next person, I think I'll give it to Rupak, probably.
Thank you. Thanks, Shiki.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shiki. Thank you, Sandeep and Manojji for organizing this. Hello, everyone. My name is Rupak Maharas. I've been in Canada for about 4 years now. I'm currently working at Restaurant Brands International. So that's owning the brands Tim Hortons, Burger King, Popeyes, and Firehouse Subs. So I'm in the procurement of beverages at Tim Hortons, looking after Canada and US. Very happy to be part of this forum. I think from this expectation, the expectation from this forum would only be that I want to grow my network. We have just, many great professionals here from procurement and supply chain. This is my passion as well. I really enjoy being in procurement. Procurement is a field which is not mundane, like every day is new challenges in the market, which really drives me. So happy to be here, happy to meet everyone. Thank you. And I now pass on to Rajender.
Just to follow the sequence, maybe I'll just use the names as they're appearing on my screen. I guess Zoom shows different people on different screen, different sequences. So I don't see Rajender. Rajender, you're there? Are you available now to go? If not, I'll go to Kostav. By the way, Rupak, you mentioned about Tim Hortons. So we have a lot of meetings and this at Tim Hortons. So we'll probably start asking for Rupak discount there. Okay, thank you. Kostav, if you're available, you can unmute yourself and go ahead with your introduction. Kostav, you're on mute.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Sandeep ji, for this amazing forum. And hi, I'm Kaustubh Gune. I am working as supply chain professional, and I have extensive experience of 9 years into engineering supply chain industry. I've worked in multiple industries like heavy engineering, supply, defense, automotive, and currently I'm working with Veolia Water Technologies. So regarding supply chain, what I found interesting is that we make things happen. Our main job is to get the things in the right place at the right time, at the right quantity, and in the right price. So everything includes supply chain. And the fascinating I found is the technologies which are emerging in the supply chain. Those are really good. Like you are moving to blockchain, you are going into multiple AI. So the industry which was there back 10, 15 years, that has really changed. And that really fascinates me. Regarding my experience, I'm a newcomer to Canada. I've just moved 6 months back. I was back there in India. And from my experience in India and Canada, that the basics of supply chain remains the same everywhere. You go anywhere, you go to India, Canada, go anywhere in the world, you go, the basics remain, the basic principles remain the same. And so it's easy to, it's a global field and it's easy to adjust everywhere. So hoping to thrive in this amazing country as well. So, and good luck to you and good luck everyone. Let's hope to meet some amazing people in this industry over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kaustubh. I have had pleasure of meeting you in person the past few weeks, couple of times, and was really interesting to understand your
it
background and the kind of things that you have done. And welcome to Canada. You're a recent entrant here, but I'm sure this land is full of opportunities, especially when it comes to supply chain, and no doubt about that. Okay, with that said, thank you, Kaustubh. Harshal.
Hello, good evening, everyone. So I am at the very early stage of this, my professional career in this sector. So I came to Canada as an international student back in 2021, and I started my course in 2022. So till now, I have been into, I have been learning different sectors in the supply chain field, like purchasing, operations management, warehousing, and other different supply chain technologies and other things. So as there's a trend in like students, international student, I joined Walmart as a Cap 2 associate, which is more of a labor job, but that's where my career into supply chain started. So I learned the warehousing operations, and for like more than a year, I've been working there. And now I have recently joined Metro Distribution Center as an order selector. So that's how I'm growing in this sector. So within the supply chain, there are like a couple of things that inspire me to grow more. Is that the sustainability, how we can make the supply chain more sustainable, and again, the supply chain technologies, like how it's growing day by day, and how different technologies are evolving in the sector and making supply chain more efficient. So that's all about me. Thank you so much. And it's a great initiative. So I want to thank all the organization, and it's a good platform to meet the experts and growing all professions. Thank you.
Appreciate those remarks, Harshal. What I can tell you is that you are a very keen student, and you already are covering a lot of your knowledge areas. You're a recent graduate, but you're covering a lot. I think some of these things take time to really like grasp, and you are doing quite a bit of that in early stage of your career. So that's really amazing. Next on my screen is Chris Rouse, but I will come to Chris later because there's much more to talk about Chris. And he and I go back quite a way back actually. So Chris, I'll come to you later on. You are one of our eminent speakers. For the time being, I'll skip you. I'll go to Abhishek.
Very good evening.
Hi, Abhishek.
Story is more or less similar with the international students, and it's very good opportunity for us, to connect. Some of the people, Ashish, I know from my college time. It's good to see some of them I have contacted over LinkedIn. So great job, Sandeep. We never thought that there could be a platform where we could, eventually connect with so many people at the same time, learning and sharing our experiences. So yeah, I came to Canada in 2018. Did my MBA at Schulich, and then joined Vale. Vale is a mining company. So here I am working with Vale for past three and a half years. So I'm working in a procurement function as a category manager. So I look after sourcing of MRO, tires, rental, some of those categories, safety supplies and all. It's been good experience for me. In the past, I worked in India with Reliance Industries in oil and gas. So my background has been in heavy engineering or heavy sectors. So happy to connect with you. We'll sure connect with some of you guys on LinkedIn, and if you want to connect, we can always share. And I thank you, every one of us. Thank you so much, Sandeep, for taking the initiative for us to, come together on a platform and share our experiences and maybe help each other out. it's not an easy country when you come, so this gives us a platform to connect with so many good people all at once. I'm also happy to help if someone wants to reach out to me. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Sheikh, for those remarks. Just two additional comments on that. One is that, as you rightly said, it's difficult to find networking sort of events that easily which are open to kind of everyone. There are events, but sometimes those events cost you quite some good amount to be part of that organization, and then addition on top of that, for Christmas dinner or something, or for a socialization event. So idea of this forum is to create to change that. There does not have to be any cost for meeting and discussing with the people. So that's the idea here, that we don't have to worry about the logistical challenges and cost for meeting and networking. So that itself is a very good payback. And secondly, talking about your wall experience and engineering experience and stuff, there are folks here who totally recognize what you are talking about, the challenges as a category manager in the MRO and stuff. So I have Chris here. He knows the logistics challenges for the mine very closely. Arvind and Stan are here with me as well, who have worked with me in a previous mine. And we all feel the challenges of managing that kind of category. So anyway, welcome, Abhishek. I'm sure there's a lot more to learn from you as well. Thank you. Rajendra, when you are available, let me know. I know you are not available right now, so I will come to you when you are available. Just raise your hand. Next, we'll go to Parimal. Parimal, are you there, available now?
I am.
Okay.
Hi, my name is. Can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
My name is Parimal Anjan, and I've been in various fields: supply chain, take ERP or computer science, you take retail, you take public transit operations. So many things I've done in my life. Right now, I'm in reverse logistic. I would say a more technical word, but I tell myself a shipper and receiver, where I use my data skills and my computer skills to make my life easier. I'm here to make some connections and grow my network. And if you guys need any help regarding the data, give me a shout. I'm there to help.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Parimal.
Thank you.
Great. Next, we have Prasad.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I used to work for Whole Foods in the US in the IT side of supply chain merchandising. So the job involves more of resolving issues related with supply chain merchandising. There are applications and tools that we use for order maintenance, item maintenance, and all. So just trying to see what and all I can learn in this meet, and how I can shape up my career in supply chain. That's the main thing that I have. Yeah, thank you so much for organizing this meeting.
Thank you, Prasad. Thank you for the introduction. Appreciate that. Welcome. Ashish, welcome to you again later. You are one of the speakers. And Ashish, I know that you have to go somewhere as well. So in case you want to, go earlier in terms of speaking, we can do that as well. Okay, so let me know. Just raise your hand and let me know. Okay. And RV and Stan will come to you in a bit. Okay. Jatin.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, Manoj, for this opportunity. First of all, it's a great platform for everybody to connect. So I'm a mechanical engineer and diploma in thermal power plant engineering. I am MBA into supply chain and operations management from India. I have 7 years of experience in procurement, and I worked in different sectors, into thermal power plant, into construction. I worked with L&T Construction, where we revamped the complete ERP system because they have an in-house ERP system. Thereafter, I worked as a category manager in one of the largest MRO B2B marketplace in India, which is Moogdix. And then I worked into steel sector for flat steel products with JSW. It was again a corporate startup with JSW called JSW One Platforms. I've recently come to Canada 2 weeks back, and I'm looking for opportunity in supply chain and procurement. And I've also worked on various digital initiatives that happen in organization regarding data analysis, not maybe with the high-end tools like R and Python, but on a primary level to build insights for the management. And I'm looking forward for any opportunities that can come across in procurement. Thank you.
Thank you, Jatin. I'm sure being on the intersection bit of supply chain and digital knowledge is, an expertise which is not that easily found. So I'm sure you have a bright career ahead. Welcome to Canada.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Harmeet, if you're available. You are muted. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, am I audible now, Sandeep?
Yes, Harmeet, you are.
Hi everyone. Harmeet this side. Similar to Jatin, also it's been like pretty new for me. Like close to a month's time, I'll be closing 30 days day after tomorrow, and I also have close to like 9 years of work ex, which is majorly comprised into supply chain and category sales category role. So previously I was associated with Samsung. I was looking after the Southwest Asia mobiles division for Samsung. And prior to this, I had another like 3 years of work ex with KPMG into consulting space. So I have a mix of industrial as well as consulting, supply chain and like category experience. Prior to this, I had a couple of years of oil and gas experience with the public sector, Indian public sector. But yeah, it's been a journey across all the like multiples, be it supply chain or on the like business side, on the sales side. And yeah, I'm too happy to connect with all, and like will be eager to connect with everyone in future also. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Amit. One thing that should do is that, like, in a short span of time, we will not have opportunity to fully understand each other. So feel free to share your LinkedIn URLs with the group, and we'll try to create an Excel spreadsheet which will be shared, like the link will be shared with you. Where you can actually paste your LinkedIn URLs or any other relevant information as well. So even in future when people are joining, they know who all are in the group, and that can be a source of mutual interaction very easily for everyone. Okay. Thank you, Amit. Manjesh.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks to Sandeep ji that you gave us the opportunity to join here. And I'm really glad for that. Although I have never been in supply chain, but throughout my career, I have been in sales basically, and most of them I was in building material. So indirectly, I was involved in supply chain as well, because sales guys had to be responsible for the service as well. So starting from the order and taking payment to providing the material at that side. So all these responsibilities were involved in my job. Here, again, I'm working in sales only. And although I'm not involved in any kind of supply chain activity, so I'm here in this group to listen you guys who have experience, and will definitely, I would look forward to join future in supply chain industry.
Sure. Thank you, Manjesh. So you're in the sales profession, and that's comes very handy for us, because like with the supply chain side, we always keep complaining that salespeople don't understand our life, and you guys complain that we don't understand your pressure from a customer, and we don't respond fast enough and stuff. So maybe you can be that bridge who can convey our ground realities and challenges to your colleagues, and help us out. Okay?
Really.
Appreciate that, Manish. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shaurya Kapoor. You are muted. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Just like Jatin and a few others, this is my first week here in Canada. Before this, I was working in Oman I worked in Oman for 5 years, but I worked as a scheduler or a project planner, directly in project management. And I have had the experience I've had a lot of conversations and interactions with my colleagues in procurement and logistics. And so from there itself, I've kind of been very interested in the supply chain. And also during my post graduation in NICMAR Pune, I had this opportunity to study about supply chain, and so I think this is a very good opportunity for me. In Oman, I have worked in with a construction company, and then I later joined L&T Hydrocarbon and worked in project management. So very nice to meet you, everyone.
Great, thanks, Shaurya. You're coming with some impressive international experience, and that always enriches the knowledge of the group as a whole. Appreciate that. Thank you, Shaurya. Mihir. Good evening.
Hello. Yes. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Sandeep, for creating this forum. And I saw you like working on the WhatsApp tirelessly to bring us all together. My name is Mihir. Currently, I'm working with a company by name of Imperial Date Canada. They are into warehousing and distribution of paper products, packaging material. And I'm working as a pricing and a product coordinator. Something about my past. I'm coming from India. It's been 5 months since I landed in Canada. In India, I was working as an operations manager with Tata International Limited in the minerals department, wherein I bring in 10 years of cross-functional experience in bulk and liquid commodity trade. I have done business development, trade operations. I was looking into procurement, shipping, inland transportation, as well as the rail transportation. Going forward in the future, I would like to see myself working here in the trading, in the physical commodity trading business, or in a trade finance profession. My reason to join this forum is to understand the prospect of supply chain over here in Canada. What are the new trends or happenings, and where is the scope for me to improve? With that, also networking, because networking is a key word here in Canada. All this should transcript into a meaningful career opportunity later on. And again, I'd like to thank everyone for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. I'm sure networking is what do you call, like is a two-way street, as much as we expect to get from networking, we also give in networking. So and that's the spirit of collaboration that this is founded on. So I'm sure you bring in a lot of very good your knowledge, experience that you'll be willing to share as well. Appreciate me. Thank you. Next one I have is Parthiban.
Thanks, Sandeep.
Hi.
So I'm Parthiban. So I'm a supply chain professional, have close to 13 years of experience. So I worked at BHEL, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, back in India. I was into procurement and supply chain operations there. And I'm seeing a lot of known faces here from Schulich. I did my master's in supply chain management at Schulich, and currently I work for this organization called OECM, which is into public procurement. It's a collaborative sourcing partner for the province of Ontario. So it's called OECM. It's Ontario Education Collaborative Marketplace. So it's basically doing the collaborative sourcing, identifying the high spend areas. So I handle projects where it is of high value and complexity is high. So that is what I'm basically into. And I mean, I really thank Sandeep. It's a great initiative, because getting together all the supply chain folks is difficult. And I'm also the co-president of Schulich Supply Chain Alumni Association as well. So I can understand really how complex it is, because this is the need of the day as well. And I also teach at two colleges here. I teach supply chain management courses here, and I really like to interact more with all the experts here and all the experts in different fields, and get to know more about them and connect with each other, and probably add more value to everyone's career path and myself as well. Thanks for this initiative.
Thank you, Paswan, for the kind words. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And yes, the Schulich people, I know quite a few actually from them, and many of them are in supply chain. So the UK still really have a very strong alumni network. I'm sure about that. So great to be in touch with you and other folks from Schulich. Appreciate that. By the way, I'm also on Supply Chain Management Association's ethics committee, ethics and compliance committee. So that's another very useful forum. It's a bit expensive though, but otherwise it's obviously very well renowned in Canada.
That's great. Thanks.
Thank you, Batan. Flavian.
Hi, I'm Flavian. Sandeep, first of all, thanks for the initiative and the invite. I have 12 years of work experience in procurement. I currently work for a manufacturer named Merson, and I manage the procurement activities of 3 plants, 2 in Canada and 1 in US. My work experience has been in different industrial sectors. It's been in construction and contracting, distribution, and now in manufacturing. I came to Canada in 2020, and my intention is to network, get advice, and discuss ideas.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you, Flavian. I think you summarized the purpose of this group in 3 phrases. So that's a very good capture of what the intent behind this network is. Appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome.
Thanks.
Next we have Amia.
Hello everyone. I'm Amey Atswal. And first of all, thank you, Sandeep, as everyone has thanked you. But it's been a great platform for everyone to come together, discuss the views, and connect here. So just a bit of me, about me. I'm a business analyst, and for most part of my career, I've worked on IT projects for logistics, making digitization and automation of the logistic processes, and are also in order management. Recently, I was working with SoftChoice here in Canada for about more than a year or so. There has been a few layoffs in the company since last couple of months. And again, I'm back in the job market, hunting for jobs. That's about me. Thank you.
Thank you, Amia. Thanks. Now we have a few participants who are not on the camera yet, so I request you, if you are able to come on the camera, to really help. Next we have is Deep Rahul. Deep, are you available now, or should I come back to you later?
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Actually, I'm outside, so I cannot open the video. So that's fine, right? Yeah. Yeah. So I have recently graduated in a college diploma in supply chain and operations from Pancho College. So I have been working since like the past year in as a associate, Cap 2 associate in Walmart, and I have had a small contractual job as a general labor job, but I have experience in the construction of how the so I have experience in the construction of the Amazon fulfillment center near in St. Thomas. So I have had a 4-month contractual job. So I have had a short experience there, and I'm currently looking for a full-time job in the field of supply chain and logistics. Yeah.
Hey, Deep, thanks for sharing your experience, and I'm sure you are starting with some of a little bit more challenging, but at the same time very useful experiences that you'll count on later on in your career. You would look back at those experiences and be able to relate those to the strategic things that you'll be working on. So that's great. Good to have you here in the network and in the community. Thank you. Somnil.
Hey, Sandeep, thanks for inviting me. Hey, this is Shomil Das from Calcutta, India. I don't know how many of you are. Been in supply chain for almost 21 years now. Yeah, I'm an Indian Army veteran and also a pass out from XLRI Jamshedpur with supply chain and production management specialization. And even in the military also, I was in supply chain branch of Indian Army. So my whole career is in supply chain. Yeah, currently I work for Amazon. I manage the startup business for the southeast and central states of the US and also for Canada for Amazon Logistics. Yeah, happy to be here and happy to see some new faces and looking forward for new connections and new friends.
Thank you, Sunil. So we keep hearing keep reading in the textbooks on supply chain that logistics really started, from the army, all the wars and things, they require a lot of logistics. That's where the logistics really started as a study. So good to have you here. I'm sure there's a lot to learn from you. And we do share a connection. I have studied in Calcutta, in the Institute of Management in Calcutta. So XRI and I in Calcutta, we used to be rivals in certain areas.
Yeah.
So interesting connection there. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Bharat, are you available now? Bharat Batra?
Yes, Sandeep. Hi.
Hi.
Let me start. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Sandeep, for taking this initiative, and thanks everyone for taking time from the schedule. I'm glad that I got an opportunity to meet everyone. I came to Canada in 2016 for an MBA, and I'm also a surely graduate. Before moving to Canada, I was working in the automotive space in India. I was working with Ashok Leyland and Mahindra in medium heavy commercial vehicle industry. So after moving to Canada and did my MBA, I started working with airlines food industry. Air Canada was our biggest client. And then COVID hit, I have to change the industry. I started working with a company in e-commerce space. I worked with that company for almost 1.5 years as a supply planner. Since 2021 December, I'm working with Apotex. It's a pharma company, biggest company in Canada. I'm a supply chain lead here. Feel free to connect with me, and yeah, anything you want to ask, any support you need. And thanks everyone once again.
Thank you, Bharat, for joining us. Quite a bit of experience in different industries and different geographies, I must say.
It's all about requirements at a different time.
Appreciate you joining us. Thank you. Tejas. Hi, Tejas.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm Tejas Patel. I'm here in Canada. I am a supply chain manager, experience in SAP modules with over 10 years in North American environment. I have been responsible for managing end-to-end supply chain operations for third-party logistics service, manufacturing units, and service industry. My expertise are in SAP module like material management, FICO, sales and distribution, and warehouse modules as a super user. My purpose being here as a part of this platform is to learn and contribute. So I'm looking forward to get some mentorship to expand my own knowledge and skills in supply chain areas. And also, like every newcomer have their own stories to share, and I have my own as well. I wish like before 10 years, I could have been part of this platform when I was a newcomer. So I would love to connect with the newcomers and share my do's and don'ts experience to settle down and reduce the struggle as a newcomer in the new country. And yeah, that's about me. And I really want to thank you to the speaker and Sandeep to arrange this platform for networking.
Thank you, Tejas. So I hope that the newcomers in Canada and the recent graduates have taken note of what Tejas has offered. Tejas, that's very kind of you to offer that. And guys, you don't know, but I have had the fortune of interaction with Tejas in person a couple of times in pretty serious environments. And I really appreciate and admire his knowledge. And for him to coach anyone or mentor anyone or share their experience is a great opportunity for others. So thank you, Tejas, for being part of this forum and
thank you
for making that offer. Okay, great. Bhushan. Bhushan, are you available or should we come back to you later?
Okay, I guess yes, texted on chat, I guess.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Okay,
yeah,
no.
Just some time back, yeah.
Okay. Great, so we'll go to Soumitra next. Soumitra. Soumitra.
Yeah, hi. So I am Soumitra, and I'm not a core supply chain guy like many of you and mostly all of you. I have a little, supply chain experience in ITC and British American Tobacco, wherein I used to, manage it as a whole operation process. I am a sales and marketing guy, and currently what I'm doing is I am, developing an AI tool which improves the business processes. And whenever it's in the testing stage, so we are, trying to train the model and make it more sharp for accuracy. So once it is ready, maybe one day, and not later than soon, but not later, but sooner, we will, reveal it to you, and let's see how it can, improve the supply chain field, because it'll, give you pinpointed results for some supply chain problems as well. So, and regarding my journey in Canada, I've been 4 years in Canada, and started off with Bell in neighborhood marketing, and then switched to Gutenberg Communications, which is a US-based PR and digital marketing company, where I'm working, and as a project we are developing this AI tool. And thanks, Sandeep, for organizing this. There's lovely people, and connecting with them is really good.
Thank you, Sumitra. Okay, we got, by the way, so Bhushan has written this note that, hi everyone, apologies for not being able to come on the call. Bhushan, he moved to Canada last year. He has a total work experience of 5 years. Worked with GP as a procurement consultant for 2 years on different categories: marketing, IT, capital, logistics, packaging, etc. You can just check his message on the chat. Thank you, Bhushan, for sending that note. Shraddha, would you like to come on the screen and say something, or?
Give me a minute. Hi, everyone. So before I begin, I'd like to thank Shaurya. I wasn't really aware of the group. He posted the invite on one of the groups, my alumni group. I'm also from NICMA. So I've had around 6.5 years of experience in sourcing and procurement. I was in Dubai before coming to Canada. I've been here for 6 months now. And I'm currently working with Canada Goose in their indirect procurement as a sourcing specialist. Lovely to connect to the group. And yeah, I'm also part of groups like Procurement Foundry on LinkedIn that I find really interesting. And yeah, I hope to learn and grow from this as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Shraddha. And on that note, I would encourage the team members from here, if you could want to share information about other useful forums, groups, etc. That's totally fine. So feel free to do that. It's eventually going to benefit us all, and that's really the main purpose. So Shraddha, feel free. Okay, appreciate that.
Sure, will do. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Next, can we go to Vishal? Vishal, are you available now?
Yes, Sandeep.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, first of all, Sandeep. I really appreciate this initiative. You are one of the go-getters that I've known over the years. It's my privilege and opportunity, to get to know you in different facets. Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody is staying safe in this lovely weather outside. Those who are in GTA area. My name is Vishal Vardhan, and I have been, like, as we say, age is just a number. If I look back, I don't know where those 15, 16 years in procurement and supply chain went. I would say I'm a keen learner and continuous learner over the years. Not only that, I've gained experience of working in the steel industry all the way as an analyst, growing up to a purchasing manager role. I dived into a maintenance planning role just to get the feel of what it is like to work on the floor and work with the stakeholders and help and understand what their needs versus wants are, which is definitely now helping as I've come into a leadership role in procurement. I worked with a company called Wellbruna ASW. It's here in Welland, Ontario, very close to Niagara Falls. Prior to that, I was with ArcelorMittal for most of my career in suburbs of Chicago, for a little bit in Ottawa, and now here. It was with Hamilton, but recently, as I made my move, I live here in Burlington, and
The reason I'm here is not only because of Sandeep, but get to know all the like-minded people in the procurement supply chain. And as everybody is sharing the experiences, there's so much that's going on. Like a lot of times we just know about what happens in our neck of the woods. This kind of interaction that we can do remotely or virtually. I'm hoping that, as the weather improves, come spring and summer, we can get some opportunity to meet in person. I think that would definitely help to not only get to know a little bit more on a one-to-one basis, but also share more of our experiences. Thank you and have a lovely evening ahead of everyone.
Perfect. Thank you, Vishal. Thanks. You definitely have a breadth of experience in supply chain and many other fields as well, maintenance side and things. By the way, for meeting in person, we don't have to wait that long. The plans are that we would be having an in-person meeting forum as well, and that will be in Mississauga. We have a location for that. This will be on Sunday. Depending on if people are available, we can do that Sunday as well, or otherwise, one of the future Sundays we can do that. So we do have space, we do have the logistics and everything in place, and depending on convenience and interest in this scheme, we can do that without waiting for weather. I mean, we are here in Canada, we have to just embrace the weather and just like to do what we want to do in spite of everything, right? So thank you, Vishal. Great. Okay, I guess we have covered everyone. We have Dr. Anurag Sinha join us as well. He is one of the speakers as well. So we are saving all the speakers for the last, because the best should be usually saved for the last. Did I miss anyone else who is not confirmed as a speaker? If yes, please raise your hand, because like this Zoom thing is, I'm never sure that whether I've covered everyone or not. Okay, if not, so clock is ticking. So in interest of time, what we will do is that we will continue with the agenda further. And so we did the introduction. Okay, so great. Now we'll start with our speakers. So the first one that we have here, and I have immense pleasure to introduce to the audience, is Chris Ralphs. So Chris is, as I mentioned, we've known each other for almost 8 or 9 years. The first time I met him, he was actually invited as a guest lecturer, for one of the topics in Supply Chain Management Association's CSCMP credential program. So that was my first introduction to Chris, and he was giving us a lot of knowledge about logistics and complexity on that, and complexity of procurement and those things. So since then we connected, and that connection has continued, has survived. We have since then worked together in I was in mining industry, and he was providing a lot of logistics solutions, very complex ones actually. So he is deep into logistics of all kind, but especially on the air side as well, domestic and international logistics, transportation, airline cargo. He deals a lot in the industrial mining sectors. And in summary, Chris is a seasoned logistics industry professional, consultant, educator, and negotiator. I've seen his negotiating skills in firsthand. So without any further ado, Chris, I'll hand over the stage to you, and if you can just give us your views overall on the supply chain industry in Canada, whatever you wish to speak about.
Sandeep, I'd be delighted to. Thank you so much for inviting me and putting this all together. And I'll just, first of all, I'm going to say how much I respect Sandeep. And I'll tell you just one thing about Sandeep that impresses me so much, is that even in the most difficult circumstance, even in the most challenging negotiation, even when things go terribly wrong, Sandeep is the coolest guy. He manages to bring people together, calm people down, and find a solution. And Sandeep, I respect you so much for that, because it's a quality I don't necessarily have. I hope I have some other qualities, but Sandeep, you certainly have one that serves you well in the logistics business. So there's a few things I'd like to talk to all of you about. And as a matter of fact, you're the perfect audience for what I'd like to say this evening. Just I'd like to digress for one moment. Bharat Batra, I'd like to say you were working for Apotex. That was a personal friend with Barry Sherman. I handled all of Apotex's air freight internationally for many years during the 1990s. I used to have dinner with Barry. I spoke so many times with Honey on the phone. I arranged her air travel and goodness knows what, and certainly they're sorely missed, but my relationship with Apotex is a very dear one. And so it's nice to see that you're there working for Apotex, a fine Canadian company that has done so much for our country.
I'm glad to hear those things, Chris. I'm glad to connect with you.
It's a pleasure. So, okay, I'll get right to the point. Now, just to give you a bit of background, I graduated from U of T with a degree in engineering. I was actually also in the military at the same time as an infantry officer, and so I had that kind of background. But when I graduated, I was intrigued by the sky, and Transport Canada was looking for air traffic controllers, and I decided, hey, that's what I want to do, and I got involved and became an air traffic controller. But I had the entrepreneurial spirit, and I had the opportunity to join some wonderful partners in the air freight business. And together, we built a really significant, freight forwarding company primarily focused on air freight. I ran a huge domestic network, one of the largest in Canada. And we eventually, and also we had an international operation. We eventually sold it to a large US public company called Eagle Global Logistics. And I became the CEO of Eagle Global Logistics for a number of years. And at the same time, was one of the seed investors in Cargojet Airlines back in the early 2000s, and have kept my relationship with Cargojet. But at the same time that I went off on my own and started my own logistics consulting company, my own freight forwarding company, and my own air charter company. So even after, working in a very structured corporate world, I went off on my own to pursue my own thing. And it was a decision that was a tough one, but also a very rewarding experience for the number of years and even up until today. A lot of you're in the beginning or mid part of your careers. I'm more or less towards the end, or the last quarter of my career, I would suppose, but I'm enjoying it as much as I did on day one. And one of the great things about logistics, supply chain, and especially on an international level, is that I've had the opportunity to deal with people all around the world. I've traveled all around the world. I've experienced cultures all around the world, and I couldn't think of having been involved in a better career in the whole thing. So let me get down to some basics. Supply chain is a term that was developed like during my career. When I started off in my career, nobody ever talked about supply chain. There were truckers and airlines and couriers and freight forwarders, but supply chain is something that has evolved, and it's a very good thing because it's formalized the activities that we're all involved with. And when I hear some of the things that you do, the various people that are involved today, it's very rewarding to see the profile that this side of the business has achieved. In terms of the management of it, the IT involved with it, and I hear some of the activities that many of you are involved with and making it just work better and better and better and better. And that's all wonderful. But when we look at how advanced it's become, I'd like to remind you of something. And I think it's going to be very important in how you conduct your negotiations with suppliers and how you see the supply chain. So we've elevated the supply chain to a high level, but at the same time, my thought is that we've diminished the role of the little people, say the little people, or maybe the people we tend to forget about, the drivers, the warehouse workers, the trucking companies, and even sometimes the suppliers are not given the due that they should get. Airlines, for example, well, I've mentioned truckers or trucking companies before. And I'd like to talk about this a little bit. It is extremely difficult and expensive to operate aircraft. It is extremely difficult and expensive to operate ocean lines. That is not my particular expertise, although I have been involved with it. It's extremely expensive and difficult to run trucking companies. Trucking companies are treated probably the worst, I think, out of everything, and drivers in particular. But let me just remind you of something. The tractors, trailers that you see out there, the tractor to buy a new one is $250,000. To buy a trailer, it used to be 30, 40,000. Today, I challenge you to find a trailer for less than $70,000, $80,000, right? In the air freight business, where we move pallets and containers, we put roller bed systems in those trailers that cost typically 20,000 at least US, and another 10,000, 7 to 10,000 to install them. These are very, very expensive pieces of machinery. Now, another thing is the insurance that airlines pay, the insurance that truck lines pay. It's phenomenal. Maybe you pay like $2,000 for your car insurance. You think, oh my goodness, what a lot of money. Well, how about paying anywhere between 30 and 50,000 per mobile unit that you have on the highway, right? Cost of fuel, of course, extremely high. Now we're moving towards a possibility of having electrified trucks, electrified vehicles, self-driving trucks. It's all going to come. But, you know, we'll always have people involved in these businesses and running these businesses. And I really would ask you to always consider that, you know, that the people who run these support businesses are important, that do an exceedingly good job for you, and they should be treated with respect. They should be paid well for what they do, because everyone needs to make a profit. Amazon needs to make a profit. Yes, definitely. But you know, that trucking company that goes to deliver needs to make a profit as well. And the airline that's bringing the freight across the country, whether it's Air Canada, whether it's Cargojet, whether it's United in the US, they need to make a profit as well. And I'd ask you to keep that in mind when, you know, in negotiations with your carriers. Let me talk specifically about RFPs and RFQs, because I notice a number of you are involved in procurement, and RFQs come up. They have to be done. Some are done very well, some are done very poorly. I will say, for example, the RFQs that I've seen prepared by UPS are outstanding. Some by some other companies, not so good. Let me tell you how to make a good RFP or RFQ for a trucking company, for example. And I focus in on this because one of my, as an independent consultant at this time in my career, I represent a specialized trucking company that moves air freight around, containerized air freight, and we have roller bed trailers, for example. What I like to see in an RFQ is that, okay, give us the price to go from here to here, right? Or, you know, give us what you're going to charge us, and then tell us what you're going to charge us for the fuel surcharge. Now, what I would really like to see when these RFPs and RFQs are developed, that the supplier dictates the fuel surcharge and a fair fuel surcharge. And what a fair fuel surcharge is how much per mile should be reimbursed to the trucker to cover the additional cost of fuel over a base. So let's say if you pick a base of, you know, retail price of diesel fuel at $1 per liter, then if it's $1.50 per liter over so many miles, it's 50 cents per liter extra that person has to pay based on a truck that's burning 45 or 50 liters per hour. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, if you put together a fair per mile fuel surcharge or a fair per hour fuel surcharge, then all the respondents will come with their base prices based on that fuel surcharge. How much easier is it for you to build a pivot table when everybody is basing their base price on the same fuel surcharge? If you have everybody with a different surcharge, we charge 50%, or we charge so many percent of the Freight Carriers Association thing, or we use the Kent Group fuel thing, and then we play around with it with a calculation and give you a percentage. If you have 8 different fuel surcharges, you are going to be completely unable to really evaluate those companies. So that is a very, very important thing for you to do, and it has to be fair. I've been involved in in both writing RFQs and responding to RFQs. I've actually developed my own per mile fuel surcharge formula based on an FCA base, Fuel Carriers Association based fuel rate. I could do it for, any particular, Kent group or whatever it is. But this way, it's so much easier for you. It's so much more fair for the carriers. The airlines do exactly the same thing. When they charge a fuel surcharge, then they say same thing. Aviation fuel, we're using a base of $1 per liter. And then let's go from there, right? If it goes up, we'll give you exactly the additional cost. We'll ask you to pay the additional cost of fuel and nothing more. Okay. So this is a very, very, maybe a small point in the whole thing, but I tell you, it is very important. So my 2 points: recognize that there's a high cost to operating trucks and aircraft and sea vessels. Okay, it's not what we're talking about so much right now, but that fuel surcharge should be fair, and it should be the same for everybody quoting on the business, so you can easily evaluate the pricing. Okay, and you'll be doing this every year or 2 years, I guarantee you. All right.
Yep.
Now, the next thing is what's become very prevalent, at least on the trucking side, and if you're in supply chain, whether you have freight coming in, whether you have air freight coming in, you're dealing with trucks, and trucks are all equipped today with telematic devices. In other words, devices that give you information about how far they travel, how fast they travel, how quickly they brake, etc. So trucking companies are able to give you extremely good data on location, on where they are, on GPS tracking, and all this kind of stuff. And trucking companies are willing to share that with you. And it really makes life so much easier in terms of a customer service perspective, in terms of invoicing, because you can say, look, invoice me based on per mile, and provide the telematics to any particular lane in that invoice. There's so many things you can do. Generate these reports for us using data you get from the truck, plus your financial data to give us good information. So you have the trucking company, which considered, oh, you're just a truck. No. The truck is a very sophisticated piece of equipment. The electronics that goes with it is very sophisticated. You blend those two together. That information that can be provided by your carrier can be extremely helpful in your analysis. And when you talk about SAP modules and all this kind of thing, and okay, great, but it's no good unless you get good data input. Now trucking companies can give you that good data input.
Very true.
So that's one of my key points that I would like to drive home with you. Treat your suppliers with respect. Work with them to get good information flowing back and forth. Spend the time to develop reports that are useful. And my previous point about writing RFQs, try to stick to a standard fuel surcharge. It'll be so much easier for you, and it'll be so much better for the industry in the long run.
Sure.
Now, point number 3, I've already alluded to it, that everybody needs to make a buck in the deal. Yep. And don't be the one who's going to be always asking for 5 cents off. Yep. Think about how you want to say that, you know what, we're going to make money on this thing, that we want you to be successful and make a profit on what you do. And everybody's going to make a reasonable amount of profit on what they do. And then it enables carriers to get up-to-date aircraft. It enables truckers to get up-to-date equipment. And believe me, the equipment is becoming very sophisticated, and the better the equipment, the better their services to you. Don't drive people down to the point where there's nothing left. It doesn't help anybody in the long run. My final point today is the importance of developing relationships. Well, the very fact we're having this discussion is a step in the right direction. Now, prior to the great technology we have today, it was all like people power and on the phone talking to one another. And I can remember a time when I must have had 40 or 50 telephone numbers in my head, because we talked to everybody on the phone every day, and email was not even a thing. And I would ask all of you to remember it's people involved. Thank goodness for Zoom and team meetings, because It helps develop those personal bonds, but never forget, we're all human beings, and those personal relationships we make with our suppliers are so very important to make things run smoothly, to solve problems when they occur, and just make the world run a little better. So Sandeep asked me to keep it like reasonably short because there's a few speakers coming on. So I'd like to say those are the key points that I'd like to make. I hope I've made them clearly, and it's an honor to address you all, and I wish you all the greatest success in your careers. And on that, I'll turn it back over to Sandeep.
Thanks so much, Chris. Appreciate the points that you made are very practical, and these are things which are often ignored, unfortunately, in the rush of things. And like, especially in this room, there are a lot of folks who are coming from an Asian background, and we sometimes take pride in negotiating that last drop, and that may actually be a mistake in the longer run, as you mentioned. So that's a very valid point. And the importance of the in-person interaction that can never be replaced by anything else. Technology has to be used. We are doing that right now as we speak. At the same time, where there's an opportunity, that personal interaction is high importance. And Chris, one last comment I want to make is that you mentioned about I was cool usually in high pressure situations. I was cool because I knew that I have Chris in my team to take care of challenging situations. So having a great team, and that includes the suppliers, that includes the that's very important as well. Okay, so thank you, Chris, for that. Very useful, very useful. We'll have a longer session with you later on. I'm sure there are a lot of people who would love to have
Thank you, Sandeep, again. Thank you.
I'm hearing a bit of background noise. Parimal, I think there's some background noise coming from your side. Well, I guess I'll just try to mute the participant here. But in the meantime, there are a couple of people who just joined. So if you can just have quickly a 1 minute introduction. So we have
Hi, Sandeep. It's Deep Rahul, I guess. He's not on mute. If you can mute him.
Deep, we already talked to. Jaya Siddharth.
No, I'm saying Deep is on.
Oh, okay.
Unmuted, and he's the one.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thanks so much, Ashish, for helping us trying to figure out where that what's coming from. Okay, Jay, are you there? Can you just quickly introduce yourself? Jay, you might be on mute.
Hi. Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Jay Siddharth. I'm currently making a transition to supply chain. I'm looking to get a few certifications and then get a foot in the door in the supply chain industry. I'm quite passionate about supply chain. I know it's a growing area, especially in Canada, it's growing and evergreen. So I'm trying to make a transition. Yeah, I'm a Canada permanent residency holder. I've lived there for about, say, 2 years now. Currently in India on a short personal trip. I'll be returning very shortly. And I have a master's degree in information technology and management from University of Melbourne. So yeah, I look forward to interacting with you in person whenever I get the opportunity. And thanks, Mr. Sandeep, for giving me the platform to introduce myself. I look forward to meeting new people and forming relationships. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Jay. I had the pleasure of speaking with Jay, very bright person, and great to see that people with such qualifications are trying to make a foray into supply chain. It's good for the industry, for our profession, and I'm sure it will be rewarding for you, Jay. Thank you very much. Okay, Dr. Anurag Sinha, are you available at this time?
Yeah, sure, I will. I am just, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You are comfortable to go now? Or you...
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so guys, Dr. Anurag, let me just make a quick introduction. So Anurag ji, as I fondly call him, he's a multi-business industrialist, innovator, serial entrepreneur, and consultant. He has interest and businesses in many areas: healthcare, metal manufacturing, oil and gas, logistics, food processing equipment, manufacturing, IT, education, hotel and hospitality, and trading, etc. So really, like pretty much every area that you can think of. He was a consultant with the United Nations, World Bank, etc. in technology space, public private partnership and stuff. So he's one of our group advisors as well. So Dr. Anurag, if you just want to address the forum, I don't have a specific topic for you, so just go ahead and whatever you feel is relevant to the forum, please.
Hi, Sandeep, and thank you very much for bringing me to this 32 participants now, 33 of them. Just give you some insight of logistics. Logistics is not my area of expertise, but we use in most of our companies where we are doing shipping, receiving. So that is one kind of perception. I can give you what exactly is logistics and how in the last couple of years it has really evolved and reached to this point. So during the COVID time, when PPP became so important, logistics played a very important role, bringing products from a different part of the world to Canada and to other countries as well. So this is one time when I started really looking into logistics as one of the very crucial part of a business. It has still not, due to this COVID and all that, it has still not reached to a point where we can say that it is stabilized. Still, the cost of product has really, has really gone high because of the cost of the logistics. Cost of logistics, as of now, plays very important role in finding the cost of the product right now. And because of the inflation, because of when you see everything, the cost has really gone very high in all the products in day-to-day consumptions. Now that is one part. The people who entered in the market just pre-COVID in logistics field and in products which were moving, they really did very well in the last couple of years, really well. So I know a couple of my friends who own logistics company. They really meant a huge money in this logistics. It has now stabilized in the last 6-7 months, and they're not that doing great, but it's just before that it was really very high. That is one part. The other aspects of logistics is the IT. IT plays very important role in making sure to get the customer know where the products are when they are looking for. Tracking is one area, shipping where to, what the cost, and how to find the best cost. So these are what we can offer right now. When we see these emerging markets, like India is one of them, very high. There it is to control the cost of shipping. Here, I am still haven't seen that kind of revolution in shipping, in logistics per se. So, for example, food, getting a getting a product. You want to order a food in whatever platform you can take, skip that this is Uber Eats or whatever. The cost is still is $3-4, still $10 wherever it lands, which is very high as compared to when we see the other markets, which keeps the cost of the total goods very high. When you see, so still there is a lot of innovation and a lot of creative thinking needs to be done in terms of how to bring the cost very low in terms of logistics. So say, for example, anybody who wants to do a small online business from these platforms, the product cost maybe $2 to $3. You can't do it because the reason being the cost of the shipping is so high that you can't do it. I have a company which is into spices, which I own. It's Inter Spices. We do spice manufacturing locally here. The cost of every spice is $4.99 and shipping is $10. So it doesn't really give a very lucrative kind of business sense of doing it, unless until you do some other creativity, like we do packaging of 5, 6, 7 products and making it look okay, or absorbing the cost of shipping altogether. Today I had an order from in Ontario, which is little remote from a regular this thing. It's a dental clinic out in north in Ontario. I had to ship one stretchers which we build actually at Teclam Medical Corporations. We are into manufacturing of stretchers, so we had to ship from Mississauga to north. The cost of shipping was $2,100 door to door. And the cost of product is roughly close to $4,000. So think about how we can think of getting into. So I'm putting up these all things as other prospect of as a business. How we see shipping, how we see logistics, how we see overall logistics, and what you folks who all are in this field of logistics need to find some kind of creative solution, which will actually give you some kind of edge and bringing it much beyond that. So I'm just giving you these thought-provoking ideas, what I feel that you guys should definitely see in terms of bringing the cost of logistics in control. So that's what I had to say today. Enjoy. It's really wonderful looking, and you all amazing people in the field of logistics and shipping. So supply chain. So please, and procurement as a whole. So have a nice evening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Siddhant. That's really encouraging to hear the perspective coming from the owner of businesses, like how you see the logistics and supply chain as critical to your business, and how that can be a significant portion of your overall cost. You give us some challenges to this profession, this group of people, and I'm sure that will provoke like a thought process in their mind, and some of these things can be food for thought for them as they look at the opportunities, and sometimes some of them may actually make a business out of these problems, right? So I really appreciate that. Thank you again. I know you're quite busy, but appreciate your coming in.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we have actually not one. I guess like we have 2 speakers together. I see RV and Stan. So their bond has been unbreakable since I've seen. So I have an RV speaker here, but Stan is sitting right there in the video frame as well. So RV and Stan, hello to you. And just introduction. So RV is director of business development for XOR Consulting. I think the company knowledge both Arvind and Stan co-founded that consulting organization, is doing quite well. I do know that it's in mining space. I don't know what else, but I will hear from them. Both of them are versatile and they're fast-paced leaders, very young, but still, despite of their young age, they have been in various supply chain management roles. As for RV, software engineer from McMaster, and I consider Stan and RV both as guru in technical stuff, because they knew more about that. Like when I knew when they were in my team, so I really had pleasure of working with both RV and Stan. So I'll leave it up to you, Arvind. How do you want to structure this thing? Both of you want to go ahead?
It's okay. I'm going to take lead. I'm the talker anyway between the two of us. Yeah. I'm just here to to support. But I got a couple quick words. So, I mean, we know Sandeep. We worked together in Baffinland. It was quite a challenging and interesting project. Also worked with Zarya over there. Actually, me and Avi would go a long time together. We went to school together. We did the same project back in school, and then just kind of friendship carried along, and then we had a chance to work in many places, and it was just fortunate, I guess. So me and Ari, we recently, about 3 years ago now, actually, we've founded our own little consulting business, and I'll let Arvi explain a little bit more on what we do, but I just wanted to express my gratitude. Thanks indeed for inviting us. Thanks for everyone to join, and so I'll let Arvi take over and tell a little bit about us and what happened. So
yeah,
thank you.
Right on. Yeah, I actually wanted to especially say, it's really humbling to be here among such esteemed and accomplished folks. I don't know if you remember there, Chris, but we did have a brief exchange back in Baffinland when the NOLA and the World Fuel Services came up for renewal. So by proxy, I learned a million things from you. So thank you for that, sir.
Yeah, I remember.
And a million more things from Sandy. So all great stuff. And sorry, Chris, I interrupted you.
No problem.
Yeah.
Very nice of you to comment on that. I recall those days.
Yeah. No, actually, you know what? I figured, I was trying to avoid this sort of being a weird Tony Robbins pep talk kind of feel, but you know what? It's coming back all down to positivity, perseverance or practice, and passion. That's what you really need, really, in life. And maybe a software degree. You're learning how to manipulate data. That's also really, really helpful. But you know what? I think if I explain how we got here, you can see in our lives how we live to those ideals, or at least
maybe tell a little bit of what we do. And
I think, what was it, 10 years ago to this day is when I first met Stan. We were working on our capstone project for engineering. He was in mechatronics, I was in software. We'd put together this pill dispensing little gizmo that helps the old folks with Alzheimer's get the right dosage and the right pills in. And it does it by sending you a phone message. We even had a fancy shirt that vibrates that says, go and get your pills and things like that. So that's when I figured out that Stan is actually the smarter one amongst the two of us. So, that's great stuff. And to this day, he is truly in charge of everything that I do. But, I get out there and take the risks, just to say. So since then is when I started off in IBM for a bit of software development. Stan went off to work at Spirax Sarco and they're a fabrication and manufacturing kind of outfit. After which, somehow, some way, we both ended up in Baffinland, and we ended up working at Pond Inlet, where we learned about some extreme weather and about our own character in many ways. You're forced to when it's 24 hours daylight and 24-hour nighttime. But past that, we eventually got back to the Oakville office. That's when we had the pleasure of working for Sandeep. It was a wonderful time. We went so far, or we were given the opportunity, again, thanks Sandeep, to actually prove our skills in building a bit of the database, some automation around it, some reporting, some like everything procurement that we could automate or try to make it a button push. We tried to do that, and the chances that and the skills that we learned as a result of are still paying dividends to this day. Right. And past that, I moved on to Kanuma Coal. That's out here in the West Coast, working for a metallurgical coal company. Stan was back. Oh no, I'm sorry. He was previously with Siemens, and now he was with Spirax Sarco. No big deal. And he was having a bit of fun. And I said, "Hey man, come on over to Vancouver. The weather is better, and the scenery is nice." So he came over. We learned yet again like what synergy is like, at least when Stan and I were working together, and you need that. If you're fortunate enough, at least to find that in a fellow colleague, I'd say that is one of the few things that are valuable in life, because that person will make you that much more sharper for your skills.
So right past that is when Stan first got the taste of being an independent consultant while I was the contracts manager at Kunuma Coal. Again, another great opportunity to learn everything about the mining life cycle and the contracting work that goes along with it. How did I end up there? Again, thanks to folks like Sandeep that gave me the opportunity to learn, gave me great recommendations, and truly thank you for putting your trust in these two dweebs. So past that, that's when we finished off with Kunuma. And like that's when we sort of had a chat and said, hey man, what are you doing? You're not doing any jobs right now, are you? So basically we were both unemployed and we started a company, and that's when COVID hit. So that was fun. And oddly enough, Kunuma was our first client. The company that we just finished up doing an ERP implementation for it, and I just left being a contracts person for it. And they gave us chance after chance. We grew a small team. We were at that contract for about a year. We also were fortunate to hook up with Connect Auto Solutions, who is a licensed implementer for Hexagon EAM Solutions. I don't know if everybody here is familiar with Hexagon, but Hexagon is pretty deep into mining software and transportation logistics. You know, it measures like trucks going over small bumps, even using GPS, and whether or not it's so there's software.
Yeah, so Hexagon is pretty advanced software company, and they're specializing specifically in, you know, like Arvi said, mining and some of the heavy transportation is correct, and they have some absolutely brilliant ways to measure and, you know, output data, just like Chris was saying, and, you know, for different reasons, and a lot of it is safety as well. But, you know, that being said, just not to divert too much, basically Arvi was like, okay, so our profile, maybe I'll just take over here a little bit. So as far as us professionally, what we do is that like through our career path, we're in supply chain. We learned a lot in Baffinland, which is a remote Arctic mine. And when you're in a remote island, you kind of forced to learn a lot. So, and supply chain and logistics out there is completely just very difficult. Let's put it this way. It's a very remote location, as remote as you can really get out on this planet. And
you have to really be optimized in what you're loading on that plane. This ship.
That's correct. And so what that meant is we had to build the warehouse. We had to build everything from scratch. And you know, we're just very fortunate to be part of that. And that's what we learned a lot. And ever since then, we've been just building on those skills of like just being raw, straight from the ground, receiving the ships, receiving the planes, you know, putting them on the shelf, building new agreements with vendors, and then implementing the system at the same time. We're very fortunate to hit the company at the stage when it was, you know, like very young and very promising, and that's just a lot of vast experience, and also very extreme conditions too. Ever since then, we've been with help with Sandeep, we've been building our skills. We've been, you know, promoted multiple times within the same company, and then went on our path. And just and basically we kind of ended up right now more in the sphere of supply chain. Yes, we do it a lot, but we also
ERP
we work a lot with ERP. We work a lot with data. Was just analytics, supply chain analytics, etc.
I'd say at this point in our weird journey in the last 3 years, we're sort of like the rescue in case an ERP implementation has gone horribly wrong. That's when you hire one of us for being your data person. We clean up all your data. We make sure the conversion metrics are accurate. We now have 2 clients still. One is the Ontario Northland Transportation Commission, and the other is AFD Petroleum. And we just finished doing a little deployment for a toy company. We try to keep things fresh. So especially in that, the toy company was actually the most complex because it was drop shipping and assembly across different countries to ultimately be delivered in US markets. So Stan himself built a nice little Access database, and codified it and made it so that the customs and all the paperwork that goes along with that is pre-populated at a moment's notice, and transition is happening across the board.
Yeah, so with advancements in software, especially recently, what we noticed is that a lot of companies, even medium size and small size, can afford a lot of the power, like a processing power that was not ever available up until, let's say, I don't know, like maybe last 10, 15 years, like with the amount of hardware, how hardware became so just powerful, and then that anybody can have terabytes worth of memory on their computers, just on their laptops. Everybody can have lots of RAM, and now all these solutions now being deployed as a service. You don't even have to have a lot of power on your premises, and they become very affordable.
Yeah,
there's a lot of transformation happening out there, especially for the smaller businesses, and for the newer, for larger businesses, they upgrade to this technology, and that's where we fit in. So I find it absolutely fascinating that we.
And to Chris's earlier point, all of this is not like, first of all, if you're going to put in terrible garbage data in, and you have no processes, and you haven't really thought about the parameters in which you want to measure your ongoing operations, all this is for naught. You can have all the data in the world, but if it doesn't jive, there's no point. So.
All these discussions, Harvey and Stan, is giving me an idea that we should probably have like the speaker series where we can talk at length. I'm sure there are people who want to learn a bit more about that. We should really start a video series where we can talk about this at length, and people can absorb that, and they can ask you more questions and get a little bit deeper into the topics. So they're very, very relevant challenges and issues. And where there are challenges, there are opportunities as well. So people who are looking forward to take entrepreneurship route, RV and Stan are perfect examples, and kudos to you guys. I was really happy when I learned about your taking the plunge.
Yeah.
We
figured the first thing that was going to fail is our friendship, but goddamn,
it has failed already.
It failed, so we're just fully obligated to each other.
Good.
Got a lot of money writing on it.
Stan, thanks so much. Thanks so much for joining us. You guys in Vancouver. You joined us at our suitable time. Appreciate that. We're looking forward to more discussions with you, more detailed discussions, in-depth discussions. So you talked about ERP, and we got a perfect speaker. So it will be a great segue to go to him next, because talking about the ERPs and stuff. Amit Ranjan, he is an expert in that field for many years. He has worked with all the renowned names. Amit, I hope you are there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you for patience. So Amit is currently the Director of Supply Planning and Manufacturing Systems in one of the industry giants. If you are comfortable with Amit, you can pick the name. I'll skip that for now. And then he has led large teams, complex projects, multiple ERP implementations, MBA in operations and finance, as an engineering background, and he's an SAP guru. So Amit, please take it away. And I know you had something, a particular topic in mind. So if you want to enlighten us with your thoughts.
Thank you, Sandeep. It has been great listening to all the participants. Just for the interest of time, I know that we are a little bit over. I will try to keep it short and sweet. So I'm Amit Ranjan. I'm very proud to say that I work for Saputo Dairy Company, Canada-based, one of the most successful manufacturing company from Canada, all across Argentina, Australia, US, UK. So I was talking to Sandeep, and I thought that to kick off, it would be a good topic to talk about supply chain transformation projects, and what opportunities we have ahead of us for next 3 to 5 years. What should be the focus areas, and a little bit, from my own experience, what kind of challenges we face in those supply chain transformation projects. So just for full disclaimer that I'm not going to say anything that you already don't know, right? So nothing new. This is just to kick off these topics so that we can have some more productive conversation in future in this forum. So when I say supply chain transformation projects, my definition, what I mean is that most of you may have involved in some aspect, like projects like where we are deploying or deploying new ERP system in your organization, where all the functions, procurement, finance, supply chain, manufacturing are coming into one platform, new way of doing things, right? Building some new capabilities. Or your company is launching an e-commerce platform, right, for your multi-channel strategy. Or you are building a brand new analytical platform for reporting KPIs, right, to measure and manage your business. So that is what we are talking about here: supply chain transformation projects, which adds capability to your business, and which takes your maturity level from where you are right now to the next level. So some of the so now let's begin with some of the focus areas that we have in this space, what opportunities we have. And the way I put it is like internal focus and external focus. When I say internal focus, means it is within your organization. And it has two aspects. One is that we always look at our maturity, where our organization, our supply chain organization are from processes, tools, and there are lots of industry standard. Like Gartner is the leading practitioner in that industry to build the maturity framework for a supply chain organization. So we assess internally, where we are in that maturity cycle, which stage we are, and then focus on where we want to be. And with that strategy, we prioritize our supply chain transformation initiatives to go from one maturity level to more mature. So that is one aspect to develop your focus, right? Where you want to put your effort for supply chain transformation. The second part is internal focus is business strategy. So awareness of what is your business strategy and how supply chain can support that business strategy. And one example I will say is that if your company is trying to expand your export business, right? That is the overall business strategy. Then supply chain organization may initiate a project to build a export or global trade platform, right? To support that export growth business strategy.
Sure.
So this is what what I mean by internal focus. And then you have external focus, to understand what's going on in the industry, what your competitors, what your business partners are doing, and based on that you prioritize that, okay, to support to be in the industry, have the same competitive edge, right? These are some of the initiatives that we can take up in next 3 to 5 years.
Sure.
And couple of things that comes to my mind in that external focus is like right now, the big one is leveraging your data, right? In last 20 years, most of the organizations have built capability to gather the data, right? I saw Chris talking about it, a lot about report, right? Is big part of it. So most of the companies have data, good collection of data from procurement, from logistics, from sales. Now, how to leverage that data, and along with that comes the capability that now we have at our disposal around AI, right? Which basically builds on the data that you already have, right? So that is going to be one of the key focus areas in discussing about supply chain transformation projects. The other one, I think it was Herschel who kind of touched on about environment and sustainability. This is another focus area for most of the organization in next 3 to 5, 7 years. How to make the supply chain, the operation, manufacturing, warehousing more environmental friendly, less carbon footprint, less wastage, right? And to make it more sustainable. And the third area, last but not the least, is all we hear about Industry 4.0. which is basically now, connecting all the physical assets that we have, especially in the manufacturing and warehouse transportation, all the physical equipment that we have, how we can make it IoT enabled, have it connected, so that we can leverage, we can measure how they're performing, maintenance, and the use cases are unlimited. So these are some of my own personal pick on where we can focus, industry will focus in next 3 to 5 years. And yeah, I will wrap up with some of the challenges part on this kind of transformation projects, and I will just pick one for today, and where I have struggled the most is the whole change management aspect of these transformation projects. And what I mean by change management is that you have a project team who is working very hard on these transformation projects, but when rubber hits the road, when you start deploying it, then the broader supply chain team is just struggling, right, to adopt those processes or the tools. They may see it as hey, we have added more workload on their plate, or what they expected is something different from what they're getting right now. So that is my top pick, struggle the most. And my lessons learned over there was that these type of projects should be led and owned by the broader audience who will eventually be benefiting from these transformation projects, not the small group of team who is leading these transformation projects. And early on involvement of the broader user group, basically we have to create a need that broader team should come up with the idea that why we need to change, right? Why we need to go from point A to point B with these transformation projects. So there should be ownership, and they should be fully involved from very beginning to design that future state where you want to be. And these are some of the lessons learned that helps us manage that challenge. So that was my topic for today. But the goal for today was to just kick it off. These topics I'm very close to my heart, very passionate about it, and hopefully we'll have very productive conversation on this forum, and we'll grow and learn together. And that's all for today, Sandeep.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amit. That was a really wealth of knowledge. And shows on these things will be very interesting to people, actually everyone, especially with the people who are coming very new into the domain. These are topics which are important for every organization. So getting clarity on these things is very important. And we'll have more discussions, Amit. I'm sure you will give us more time next, like in the future series, and we'll take the benefit of your insights.
Sure, Sandeep.
Thank you again for that. So I think that's all for the speakers that we had today. And before, I know we are a little bit past our time, but I'm hoping that people are still okay to continue for another 5-7 minutes, I guess. So no events happen, without collaboration from industry partners and other people. So I just want to take an opportunity to thank a few organizations who are kind of collaborating in the background in different forms. And this is not exhaustive, but I just want to take a few names. So one of the collaborating organizations for us is Zebra Robotics. And the way they are collaborating is that they are lending us their space where we can have in-person meetings for this community and other communities of Canadian Career and Business Club. The location is in Mississauga. The address is shared with you, and we are planning to have an in-person session. I know not everybody can make it because of distances and stuff, but I think even having small groups and deeper interaction would be useful. I do want to thank Zebra for that, and at the same time, I had also committed to Zebra that I'll be sharing the information about about the program with you. So they are launching this program called AI for Managers, so artificial intelligence for managers. And this is a very, very interesting topic. I'm sure many of you are interested in that. So they have a program running in Mississauga from March 7th onward. There are 6 sessions weekly every Monday. So this information I'll include that in the group chat. So if anybody of you, anyone of you would like to participate in that, just let us know. And this, of course, a special promotion running for our community, so that you can be assured of. So I'll share that information with you. And at the same time, I have 2 more announcements to make, rather actually thanks to make. So we have also an esteemed partner here, Gajendra Singh. He is the owner of We Love Digital Marketing. He is one of the collaborators and sponsors as well of this series. Very an expert company in the area of everything related to digital marketing. And please do visit their website. A lot of very good information and great references for that. And last but not the least, we have Meena Patel. She's a law professional corporation, and she has also kind of sponsored here. We do have plans to give away some gifts and prizes in future series. Today we didn't have time for that, but these sponsors and collaborators are coming forward to build this community stronger. So thank you all the sponsors and collaborators for that. So that said, we are going to wind up this soon, but I did notice that we had some participants who joined us recently. So I'll just give an opportunity to them to quickly introduce themselves as well before we wrap up. So I did notice that Neeraj, you joined us a little bit late. So if you want to just go ahead and speak about yourself briefly in a couple of minutes.
Hi, sorry, yeah, I got delayed a bit joining in. I was wanted to join in. I'm Neeraj Ghai. I work with Club Coffee here in Etobicoke. I look after sourcing of commodities. I've been in commodities for over 20 years, principally in coffee bean sourcing. Have been operating on the origination side of the business for a very long time before I moved here and joined Club Coffee. I've been with Club Coffee for over 3 years, and essentially it's managing the entire supply chain operation of identifying vendors, working with them, and then making sure that the coffees are in place to make sure the machines are running here. So yeah, that's in short about me. It is really a pleasure. Thank you, Sandeep, for putting this together. Quite a meaningful and a long overdue chapter, I would say. Happy to contribute, happy to learn together and grow together, as Amit said. Wonderful comments from you, Amit. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Neeraj. So Neeraj and I go back to Africa days, where Neeraj was my senior, working for an agricultural commodities trading firm, and we met after many years in Canada in IAM alumni network. Neeraj is one of the office holders in that network as well. So Neeraj, thank you so much for joining, and hopefully you can make this forum stronger with your connections. I know you have a lot of very good connections as well here. So appreciate you joining, Neeraj. Thank you so much. I think I did notice that Karthik Kota joined us a couple of minutes ago. Karthik, are you still there? Or did we lose you? I'm not sure. Okay, Gajendra, you want to say something at this forum? Gajendra or anyone else I missed, please do raise your hand. It's not easy to identify. Did I miss anyone else? Okay, so I think that almost brings us to the last 2 minutes of the thing. It was basically about, what do we do from here? Where do we go from here? Like, if anyone has, any ideas on that. I know it's already kind of late, so we can spend a couple of minutes on that. Otherwise, we can just open the forum later on in the next session, have a little bit more detailed discussion. So yeah, so idea was to discuss and brainstorm in an open forum how we can make this coming together or the meetup or the network event more meaningful, and overall how we can grow as a community. Then not sufficient time, it's already 9 o'clock. So we'll probably leave it for the next session. We do intend to have online Zoom sessions like this probably once a month, and we would also like to have the in-person sessions that we talked about. So we'll share the information on that in the group. I hope you guys are okay to leave this topic for the next time so we can do a little bit more justice with that. Okay. So with this said, I'll pause here. I am not sure if Mr. Manoj is still here. Mr. Manoj Singh is here or not. Okay, no worries. So guys, unless anyone has to make a final point, please raise your hand. Otherwise, we'll conclude it here.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of you. It's a Friday evening, and please go back to your families and do some fun stuff. Thank you again.
All right.
Okay. Really appreciate it.
Stay safe.
Thank you, Sandeep. Have a good day.
Good night.
Thank you very much. We'll announce the dates for the next meetup soon in the group.
It's a Friday. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
I would do a lot of things, but anyways, have fun.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Everyone, good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Cheers. Cheers.